Hello and welcome, Medical Devices Board of Directors. We are Case Closed and we are here today to present to you the results from our internal investigation into YMD. We would like to start by prefacing the potential benefits and outcomes that we foresee with the implementation of our recommended internal controls. Firstly, we would like to start off by saying that there is potential for the company to have better business continuity through a succession plan within each department, as well as improved employee engagement and motivation, and lastly, improved company stability through internal control mechanisms.
Overall, we hope to improve the profits and results of this company. A brief overview, we will identify the opportunities, go over our recommendations, as well as recapping in the end. Moving on to the first opportunity, the Board of Directors.
So we have identified a great opportunity for diversification within the Board of Directors in both the way of thinking as well as the professional background and experience of the board members. Our recommendation is to add board members, but this can also be achieved through creating a junior board where there is a subcommittee of current employees from the various departments within the organization who would be able to offer advice and expertise on their different fields and functions that would be able to advise the board on potential solutions to any problems they face. We would also like to address the opportunity for the use of excess funds to go towards internal investment within the company. We would like to acknowledge the great philanthropic efforts of YMD over the years. However, we think that there is an opportunity for the company to internally invest and grow before donating any excess funds to outside organizations. We also believe with the lack of control from the accounting and finance department over these donations of funds that there is the potential for fraud within the organization.
There can be perceived opportunity
Through the lack of control from the finance and accounting department, employees may see an opportunity to take advantage of these excess funds and donations.
And this can be rationalized by
the need for the KKNRC organization may be seen as more necessary than the internal investment of the organization.
Secondly, we would like to move on to the Chief Financial Officer position, as Mr. Ark is currently sitting in that position unexperienced, having left his HR job.
So with the recent move of Mr. Ark to the CFO position, he has left HR vulnerable without his valuable experience and knowledge. He is also, unfortunately, inexperienced in the CFO role, leaving the company open to fraud through his inaccurate financial reports that are currently being reported.
This opens the company up to perceived opportunity.
Perceived opportunity for fraud can come from other employees seeing that there is an opportunity to take advantage of the funds of the company without control.
And they can rationalize this
by seeing that their financial need is more important than that of the company's. We would like to recommend returning Mr. Ark to HR as soon as possible, as well as creating a subcommittee within the finance department and other departments to in the short term fill that CFO role, as well as train other employees in that function so that they can be hired internally into the CFO role in the future. We would also like to recommend implementing an internal control of annual audits of the financials in order to reduce the opportunity for fraud within the company.
Lastly, we would like to move on to the Purchasing and Quality Department.
We believe that these departments should be separated into two rather than one. This is because of the conflicting goals and also conflicts of interest that each department may have when it comes to sourcing inputs, cheapest versus highest quality, and so on. We believe that internal controls can be set up such as separating the departments but having them report to the same Chief Operations Officer, who will be an unbiased decision maker when it comes to the final choices of inputs of resources and budget. We also recommend that the company follow 3 different areas for these departments, which would be the minimum FDA requirements, the company's own quality standards they set for themselves, as well as the budget that the company has in order to source materials.
Lastly, we would like to give other recommendations.
A first recommendation has somewhat been covered throughout the presentation, but we would like to make it abundantly clear that improved communication and transparency, both vertically from top down and bottom up throughout the organization, as well as horizontally across different departments, is essential for proper functioning of the company. As well as the company would be better off providing motivation to the employees for internal promotions and hirings through developmental committees and subcommittees across departments for the board of directors as well as the C-suite level positions.
We would like to ensure that the company is making sure that there is not a need for internal investment with the excess funds. That way, we're making sure each department has what they need to be successful. Lastly, we would like to bring in a brief overview. YMD overcorrected when the FDA report was released, which resulted in the rise of new issues throughout departments.
So we went over 3 key areas where there is opportunity for improvement within the organization. This includes the board of directors being diversified in thought as well as experience, training a new CFO from current financial employees, as well as separating the purchasing and quality department. It is also notable that the company should address any risks of fraud throughout their organization.
Lastly, we would like to thank you for your time and attendance during our presentation and would like to open the floor up to questions.